Good day. Good day, and welcome to another episode of Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. And let's get right to it. So, today, going to be talking about a few plays that could have changed the course of history in the NBA, starting with Game 7 of the 1962 NBA Finals. Okay. So it was game 7, and the score was tied at 100, and the Lakers had the ball. Okay. Lakers had the ball, and Hot Rod Hundley, the late Hot Rod Hundley, who used to call games for the Utah Jazz. He played for the Lakers back then. Okay. And he got the ball inbounds, and he was looking for Jerry West and Elgin Baylor. Both of those guys weren't open, but Frank Selvy was open. He was wide open. And so Hundley got the ball to Frank Selvy. Frank Selvy took the shot. And if you talk to members of the 60s Celtics, they'll all say, and it looked good to me. And I said, my gosh, this ball is going in. And the Celtics thought the ball was going in. The Lakers thought the ball was going in. There was just one problem. The ball did not go in. And the game went to overtime. Cousy dribbles out up the clock. Rest is history. Okay. So if Frank Selvy hit that one shot, probably could have changed the course of Lakers Celtics in the 60s. But instead, it just led to misery after misery after misery for the Lakers in the 60s. Talking to members of the Lakers who were part of that 69 team that went to the NBA Finals, they said that was the most bitter defeat because it was the end of the decade. It was the end of the decade, and all the guys that had been through the battles and the wars. Chamberlain, when he was with Philly, battling Boston. Baylor and West, who were there throughout the early part of the decade, battling the Celtics. So you talk to Lakers players, they'll tell you that is the most bitter loss of the decade, the 69 finals loss. So let's fast forward to 1976, okay? It's Game 5 of the NBA Finals. The Phoenix Suns are giving the Boston Celtics a really, really strong challenge. So Celtics blow them out first 2 games. Suns come right back, win the next 2 games. And I believe it was in Game 4 where the teams, Celtics and the Suns, shot a combined 80 free throws in Game 4. Okay. The Celtics and the Suns shot 80 free throws in Game 4 of the 76 finals. Okay. So, nonetheless, the series was tied at 2, going back to Boston. And Boston had jumped out to their, normal big lead. I think Phoenix had to call timeout, 3 timeouts in the first quarter or something like that. So Phoenix had to call 3 timeouts in the second quarter. And it was in the second half where Portland started to Portland. Oh, Lord have mercy. It was in the second half where Phoenix started to chip away at the lead. And Phoenix had briefly taken the lead in the fourth quarter. And had a chance to win it. Actually had a chance to win it with the game tied in the fourth quarter. But it was an errant pass that happened. So it was an errant pass that happened. The Celtics didn't have. So it was an errant pass. The fourth quarter comes to a close. The game's tied. The Celtics didn't have no timeouts. They had no timeouts, okay? Paul Silas actually signals timeout. However, Richie Powers, one of the great referees, probably made one of his most controversial calls. Richie Powers did not grant the Celtics a timeout. Okay, even though Paul Silas is clearly signaling timeout, Richie Powers didn't grant the timeout. And CBS, who was broadcasting the NBA Finals at that time, took notice of that. And one of other broadcasters noticed Paul Silas called a timeout, and they said, Paul Silas called timeout. It was a good thing that Richie Powers was not looking in his direction. And one of the great Suns players, I think it's Tom Van Arsdale. I think it's either Tom or Dick. I think it's Dick. Yeah, I think it's Dick Van Arsdale. One of the great players of the Phoenix Suns said should have been a technical foul on Richie Powers, and he refused to call it. He said his Richie Powers' statement was he didn't want to see the game end on a call like that. Said, well, that's not exactly following the rules. So that was a big problem for us at that time. And Rick Barry, who was already building his post-playing career. He was still playing with the Warriors, but he was also a broadcaster with CBS. He was doing the NBA Finals. So Rick Barry, who was on the broadcast with Brent Musburger, recalled, it's the official's request to grant the timeout. Okay? And if the player signals timeout, the official grants it. And Richie Powers should have granted it. And if that technical foul is called, Phoenix goes to the line, shoots a free throw, they're up 3-2. And Rick Barry said it was wrong. That was just flat out wrong. Phoenix got screwed. And then Paul Silas, they interviewed Paul Silas about it. He said, I just remember thinking what a bonehead play that was. But I always remember telling Phoenix, hey, if you had to take a technical foul shot, you probably would have missed. But Boston ended up winning the game 128-126 in triple overtime. We all know the triple overtime game. The other triple overtime game that Paul Westphal was involved in. The 76 triple overtime game versus the Celtics, and the 93 triple overtime game versus the Bulls. Which just brings something to my mind right now. Paul Westphal actually almost stole the ball in the third overtime. Boston threw a cross-court pass. They got the ball in bounds. Boston threw a cross-court pass. Paul Westphal leapt for it. And Paul Westphal almost stole the ball. He almost stole the ball. But almost doesn't count. So, all right, so let's fast forward to 1991. Fast forward to the 1991 NBA Finals, okay? So it's game one. It's a back and forth game between the Lakers and the Bulls. Sam Perkins hits a three. Sam Perkins hits a clutch three. And the whole city knows the ball is going to Jordan. So Jordan takes a feed, Udrih Hibbles takes a shot, and the ball rims out. Lakers hit the rebound. They hit a free throw, and they end up winning 93-91, okay? So it was during game two. Okay? It was a timeout in game two. And the Marv Albert and Mike Fratello, who were on the call, it was during a timeout. And Marv Albert said, in looking back at our tape of game one, we discovered a remarkable sequence that could have cost the Lakers the ball game. Okay? And here was that remarkable sequence that could have cost the Lakers a ball game. Okay? So Jordan takes the shot. He misses. Lakers grab the rebound. The Lakers had no timeouts. AC Green is signaling for timeout. AC Green signals timeout. The Lakers had no timeouts. The referee did not see it. Okay. Go figure. That was the remarkable sequence that was picked up by the NBC crew. And it was like, wow. If the referees had picked that up, the Bulls would have swept the Lakers in the NBA Finals. It's possible. They would have swept the Lakers. They shoot the technical free throw. They take the lead. What if the Lakers miss? They win game two. They win game three. They win game four. But hey, referees are human too. They make mistakes. They miss calls. And Richie Powers, there is some debate whether he saw the call, whether he saw Paul Silas call timeout. I think he saw Paul Silas call timeout. He just didn't call it. So Richie Powers is sort of a so I bet Richie Powers is a villain in the minds of the older fans of the Phoenix Suns. Okay, so he's probably a villain. But yeah. So history may have been different if Richie Powers makes the correct call, and history could have been different if the referee sees AC Green signaling timeout when the Lakers had none. Okay, so yeah, this close away from history, but hey, referees are human. They intentionally miss calls, Richie Powers, and they sometimes miss calls, the AC Green timeout. Okay, but hey, happens. All right. That's it, and that's all for Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. Thank you. God bless you. And God bless you to all my subscribers. I would just want to say thank you for subscribing to Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. Thank you. May God bless you. Peace out.